Welcome to this GROW module about the National League for Nursing, or NLN, Foundation of Nursing exam. This brief presentation will give you a basic understanding about the exam, the reason it is used, and how to prepare for it. If you are viewing this presentation, chances are that you are a current licensed practical nurse that wishes to pursue an associate degree in nursing by entering the Piedmont Tech Transition Nursing Program. The NLN Foundation of Nursing exam is used as an entrance exam at PTC for the Transition Nursing Program. One of the requirements for entry into the Transition Nursing Program is to take this exam and pass it with a score of 55 percentile or better. That is 55 percentile, not 55%. Students are permitted to take the exam only one time to try to earn a passing score. Students often ask why this test is required for potential transition nursing students. As previously stated, the transition program is for current LPNs who wish to return to school for their associate degree. Because they have been out of school, these students may have forgotten certain aspects of what they learned in their practical nursing courses, especially if they have not used them regularly. In addition, it's possible that nursing practices that are acceptable in the field may not match the textbook way of doing things. Therefore, nurses who have been working may have developed habits that don't correspond with the ideal methods taught. The combination of these issues can make it difficult for transition students to be successful. The NLN Foundation of Nursing exam was adopted as the entrance exam in order to determine if the potential transition student has correctly retained enough knowledge from their PN program to enable them to pass the transition class and subsequent associate degree nursing classes. If a student is unable to pass the exam, it is in his or her best interest to start over at the beginning of the full generic ADN program in order to relearn those foundational basics, providing a better opportunity for success. What does the test cover? The content of the test is primarily fundamentals and med-surg material that was taught in your practical nursing program. Topics include but are not limited to pain, fluid and electrolyte imbalance, incontinence, infectious disease, loss of consciousness, chronic illness, death and dying, preoperative and postoperative care, and stress. Study guides for this exam are not available. So in order to prepare for the exam, students should spend time reviewing these topics in the fundamentals and med-surg textbooks used in their PN programs. If you no longer have your PN materials, go to the nearest college library and borrow some. The exam is difficult. Therefore, it is not recommended that you take the exam without studying properly. This is especially true since you will not have a second try at the exam. Let's talk about signing up to take the exam. The Foundation of Nursing exam is not widely offered. Therefore, you will need to take it at Piedmont Tech. And there is no other test that we will accept as a substitute. The upcoming test dates are always posted on the Transition webpage, www.ptc.edu/transition. Once you have selected a date, contact the PTC Nursing Division at 864-941-8724 to reserve your testing spot. The fee for this test is $60 and must be paid to the PTC business office. Make sure they give you a printout showing you have paid because you will need to take that with you to your test appointment. On the day of the test, be sure to arrive at the test center at least 15 minutes prior to your appointed test time. The testing center is located on the Piedmont Tech main campus in Greenwood, in the lower level of Building K, directly beneath the campus library. Bring your proof of payment and a photo ID. The test is administered on the computer, but it is not a timed test. However, most students do take between 2 and 3 hours to complete it. Once you complete the exam, the proctor will be able to pull up a student report showing how well you did in each of the exam categories. Unfortunately, the National League for Nursing changed the format of the student report, and it no longer shows the percentile score. Because at Piedmont Tech we use the percentile score, it is dependent on the experience of the proctor whether or not he or she will be able to tell you your percentile score at your time of testing. If the proctor isn't able to do so, you may contact the nursing support counselor to find out your results. Or you may wait for the official letter that will be sent to you via postal mail. If you are successful in scoring 55 percentile or better on the exam, you will be able to submit an application to the Transition Nursing Program during the next application period, as long as you have completed all the other program entry requirements. Use your student report from the NLN exam to spend some time studying the areas in which you were the weakest, so you will be well prepared for the transition class. Although your NLN test score is recorded in our college database, it is a good idea to keep your NLN report and the notification letter in your files. If your NLN score is below 55 percentile, you will not be permitted to retake the exam. However, all is not lost. You may decide to pursue your associate degree in nursing by completing our full generic ADN program from the beginning. You would have to apply to enter that program through an entirely different application process. To find out about applying for the full program, you will need to view the Health Science and Nursing Information session that is online at www.ptc.edu/health science resources. Another option would be to check out the LPN to ADN programs at other colleges. If you need more information about the Transition Nursing Program, the place to start is by viewing the Transition Nursing Information session on the Transition webpage. This comprehensive information session tells about the program, the entry requirements, as well as how and when to apply. The session is mandatory and must be completed in order to apply for the Transition Program. After you completely view the information session, if you have further questions about the Transition Program, you may contact the Nursing Support Counselor at 864-941-8720. If you have specific questions about transfer credit for classes taken at another college or university, please address those questions to the PTC Student Records Office. Thanks for viewing this presentation, and we hope you will take advantage of other informational and educational GROW modules like this one offered on the Piedmont Tech website.